This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV, and we're very pleased to be joined today by Stergios Stamopoulous from ABS to talk about ESG in the maritime industry.
Perfect.
So, Stergios, to start, we hear a lot about the growing ESG for ship owners, but I like to get a reality on the streets. So, from your point of view, how pervasive today is this very broad topic in your conversations with clients?
That's a very good question. So, if you had asked me a couple of years ago, I would be like, only the big players are interested in the whole ESG, environmental space. But now we have seen that even the smaller players are really interested on the whole ESG framework and reporting and assuring their ESG reports. And this is mainly for two reasons. First of all, you have the public pressure, and we're talking about ESG, people starting about decarbonization, but ESG is much more than that. So you have pressure from the public that goes to the governments, that goes into the big companies, and this trickles down to the smaller guys. For a big company now, like your big oil majors, your big shipping companies, as part of that, they're very at the forefront of the ESG reporting and initiatives. They have what we call the sustainable procurement. So part of the sustainable procurement is that their vendors need to be sustainable themselves. So you see the oil majors or the big shipping company going to their little vendors saying, are you sustainable? Prove it to me. What are you doing on this? What are you doing on the social front? What are you doing on the governance front? So you see even smaller tugboats, since we're here at the workboat, so even smaller towing companies, tugboat companies that you wouldn't expect them to be at the forefront of ESG. They're really interested. And what I can also tell you, people are taking it seriously. Seriously, it's not like another marketing exercise.
So, this is obviously a very transcendent time in the marine business today with decarbonization, digitalization, and even autonomy. Mm-hmm. From where you sit in your conversation with ship owners, what do you count as some of the toughest decisions that ship owners have to make today?
The toughest thing that most ship owners have to deal with is, of course, under the umbrella of decarbonization, which is the hot topic right now, is the uncertainty of technology, of alternative fuels right now. There are many options. The maturity of those fuels infrastructure, this is something, and imagine that you're a ship owner, you want to order a new vessel that will operate for the next 20, 25 years. And you have to make decisions now, or as I like to put it, make a bet on a certain technology or a certain fuel that might not be where you would want it to be. So this creates a lot of uncertainty. And the second challenge for ship owners is the evolving regulatory framework. Because what drives the need for decarbonization right now is the IMO regulations, the EU, US regulations, and that's a challenge. There is what we have realized, there is a fragmentation of regulations. You have the international regulations, you have regional regulations, and there's not a lot of level playing field depending on where you operate as a ship owner. And the regulations themselves are still evolving. So you have the IMO regulations and criteria and targets for 2030. But right now, as we speak, IMO is looking, for example, instead of looking at emissions from what we call tank to wake perspective, they want to expand looking at the emissions from the well to wake perspective. So that brings another layer of complexity into the equation. So I think the uncertainty and maturity of technology, of fuels, and the evolving regulations are the two main challenges I could identify based on my discussion with ship owners.
The first part of your answer led perfectly to the next question, and I know there is no simple or straight answer to this, but when you look at the alternative fuels, the fuels of the future, what is ABS advising clients?
So there is what we say, there is no one clear answer, one clear solution. So you're gonna have different solutions for different cases, different situations, different owners. So yes, some fuels are more mature in terms of availability, in terms of infrastructure right now rather than other fuels. For example, methanol is kind of taking some steady pace. You have ammonia and hydrogen down the horizon. But what we advise our clients, the way we support them is we try to provide a tailored solution for their needs. So we discuss with them, we help them with their decarbonization strategy. What are your targets? That's the first question. Do you want to be net zero? When do you want to be net zero? What's your fleet profile? How old are your vessels? Are you planning to order a new set of vessels? And then based on the responses, we sit down with them, we discuss with them, and we're trying to find the optimum solution based, of course, on their comfort relating to risk. Risk is always, at the foundation of all these discussions. So,
as you know, the marine industry is very diverse. You have a handful of very, very large organizations, but the majority of them are smaller organizations.
Yes.
Most of which don't have the technical wherewithal to necessarily keep up with the speed of technology, the speed of legislation. So when you look at your clients, at your ship owners, what tools do ABS and your team offer to help ship owners in regards to ESG and sustainability?
Very good question. So with regard to ESG, we have a suite of services that we make available to our clients. And again, as you said, the bigger players may need less support compared to the smaller players because they don't have the manpower or the resources to do it themselves. So we do provide, for example, ESG development, strategy development. We help them. We have certain clients, big and small, helping them with developing their ESG strategy, and at the same time, we help them develop their ESG report, which is kind of the icing on the cake of its ESG strategy. We also offering, because yes, a lot of companies, and I'm sure you've seen it online, everybody has a sustainability report, but very few companies actually assure what they're stating from a third party. So a lot of the charters, a lot of the stakeholders of a shipping company, especially the bigger ones, will require that whatever a company is stating in their sustainability report in terms of metrics, in terms of policies, is being assured, which gives them a level of confidence that what is stated in the report is actual factual. So we support the clients with that. Associated and linked with that, we help the clients with what we call carbon accounting or greenhouse gas accounting, which is actually the quantification of your scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 emissions that also feeds into the sustainability or ESG reporting and ESG policy. So none of them are different silos. Everything is interconnected. Your question in terms of regulatory compliance, which is kind of a hot topic right now also, we do provide support with all the clients, advising them with all the current IMO regulations or upcoming IMO regulations like the EXIs, the CIIs, Fuel EU, which is just around the corner. So we have a big array of services and capabilities, if I may say, that we can support the clients, from the basic ones, which is regulatory compliance, to what I like to say, the more exotic services and capabilities that range from sustainable finance, sustainable procurement, which is becoming really a hot topic right now. A sustainability and ESG strategy and ESG report, it's a management tool. We should think it as a management tool. If it's done correctly, and what I personally say to our clients, if you've done it correctly, it will force you to do some kind of what I call soul searching. within your company who we are, where do we want to go? Do we actually have the policies? Do we actually have the procedures to walk the talk?